Hey there everyone, and welcome back to another episode of OurMFC. This is going to be a weekly news video. We didn't drop a video last week just because I was away. We were a little bit busy, the team were busy doing things. And to be fair, it gives us more of a chance to go through like a lot more stuff this week. So stick around because there's some off-it news, to be fair. We've got some done deals, we've got some more players linked. A couple of players have left, so it's all happening. So like I say, stick around guys, and enjoy the video. So first of all, it is Roman Burrell. He's joined Kilmarnock on a season-long loan. Now he's someone that Warnock said he's done well for the under-23s. Everyone knows him. Really, I remember he made his debut against Brentford in the cup last year, and to be fair, he did all right. He didn't get too many minutes, so you couldn't really see what he was about. But I know how highly the under-23s speak of him. So works all round really. Kilmarnock seem really excited as well to get him. He's one of them kind of strong, pacey strikers who's got a hell of a finish on him as well. So it'll be good for him to go out there, go and get some experience. Get some game time and then come back and have a brilliant pre-season as well. So yeah, that's a really good deal all round there. Next one is Borough obviously ended the pre-season with like a good result against Rotherham. If you haven't already done so, go and check out Paddy McNair's free kick because it was an absolute blinder. And people online were comparing it to KDB and stuff like that. De Bruyne, that is, if you don't know what KDB stands for. Yeah, so go and have a look at that. But like I said, the last couple of games, I don't know what happened at York. To be fair, we were a little bit lopsided. Warnock said, which kind of, there's no excuse for losing to York City. No disrespect to York City. But if you look at obviously the league differences, you shouldn't be losing to a team that's that low down compared to yourselves. But it's pre-season, you take the positives, like I say, to lose one out of the games that we played is not bad at all. Like I say, ended on a high, and pre-season went really well. All the players spoke about it. Sam Morsy said in an interview with Hartlepool Mail, he said that it went really well. The new players that are in the squad have integrated really well. They've fatigued themselves, which is what the goal is really in pre-season, just to build that fitness up to the max. So they come back into the season fitter, stronger, and they're ready to go because there's a lot of games to cover. Went to Warnock's, had barbecue, so it was really, really good pre-season. So fingers crossed, we have a good start to the season. But the next thing I want to talk about is obviously, if you haven't seen this and you're a Borough fan, I honestly don't know what you've been doing for the last couple of weeks. But that's been the Rodrigo Muniz transfer saga. So is he coming? Isn't he coming? What is he doing? Is he going to Fulham? Is he coming to Borough? So as it stood, Borough we'd made an offer for Rodrigo Muniz of Flamenco. And I believe it was Neil Bowser and Leo Perchovic. They flew out there to meet him, his representatives and the club, to try and obviously discuss and finalise a deal. Now, what happened was, which always seems to happen to this club, we looked like we're onto a little bit of a winner, and then a club with a little bit more money will come in and try and snap them up. It always seems to happen. It's never they've gone in for someone and then we follow. It's always been the other way around, which I guess isn't a bad thing because it shows our recruitment's, well, you say recruitment's spot on, but then really. But in this instance, like I said, so it stood there. We'd made an initial bid. Flamenco were happy with that, ready to accept it. Fulham came in, made an advanced bid, which was a little bit more money and a similar sell-on fee, sell-on percentage, sorry. And then what happened was, once Flamenco then accepted Fulham's deal, Fulham were like, when it came out about what we offered, they were like, oh, well, we'd actually like to then reduce our offer to match what Middlesbrough put, which I've got no idea. It doesn't even make sense. And then apparently when they'd done that, obviously Flamenco weren't happy anyway because they actually wanted Muniz reportedly to come to Borough. But what then happened was they're not happy with that. They're like, why are you going back on what you've already said, stuff like that. So talks broke down, and then they just went, right, like Fulham, and this was their official, like the actual club Flamenco put out on their Twitter saying that, you know, talks with Fulham just completely broke down. There's no chance that he's going to Fulham, but you know, there's chance for other English clubs to potentially purchase Muniz. So as it stands, we were then in the race, but then Fulham came back. So honestly, I don't even know myself what's going on. I really don't. We're apparently neck and neck again with Fulham. But while all this was going on, Muniz got COVID. So he was isolating. So I don't even know what's going on. I don't know if Bowser's still there. Honestly, my head's like absolutely. I put on my own Twitter. This whole Muniz saga's like definitely aged me. It's just like, what is even going on? But yeah, so we'll just have to like watch this space really. So just like make sure you're following us for updates, and we'll let you know as and when we find out. But the next thing, exciting news, is this one has been dragged out because he went to the Olympics. But Martin Payero is officially a Middlesbrough player. Now this was confirmed by Craig Johns, who, if you haven't seen our interview with, go and check it out. I'll leave it up there somewhere. Brilliant interview. Love Craig, a lovely guy. Confirmed that the paperwork had been sent out to Banfield, his former club in Argentina, and the deal had been done, all completed. It was just awaiting an official announcement. As I'm recording this video on Friday, the club obviously like released it all yesterday that he's officially a player and he's got a picture with Warnock and stuff. So yeah, good stuff. I'm really, you know, we've all got big hopes for this player, and obviously any South American player's exciting to sign. But you know, by the looks of things and the way the Warnocks talked about him, you know, he's an exciting player and he's been given a 3-year deal. I think he's 22. And a lot of Argentinian press were scratching their heads and were shocked at how we managed to pull it off, because there was a lot of different like clubs in for him. I know Atletico Madrid were linked, I think Inter Milan were linked, and a couple of clubs in the UK. So brilliant deal, and the player's excited to get started. So fingers crossed. You know, it'll take a couple of weeks to settle in and things. On the video, if you haven't seen it, honestly, he looked so lost, and I can imagine how difficult it must be to come to a new country, don't speak the same language. You'd just be a little bit like, what? You feel like an alien. But yeah, high hopes for Payero, and glad that that's over the line. Next one is Besiktas apparently have agreed a £2.5 million deal with Borough for Akpom. Now, I know that we actually reported before that a deal had already been agreed a while ago, but like I say, fresh reports had came out again. And I'm pretty sure that is the case. Warnock's all but confirmed that is kind of the case. That as soon as we get another striker in, you know, Akpom will be going the other way. So we'll just have to see what happens there. You know, we've been linked with a couple of the strikers that I will talk about a little bit later in the video. But yeah, I'm sure if we bring one of them in, you know, Akpom, will be going to Besiktas. Which, like I say, I've spoke about previously. I'm a little bit disappointed in that we didn't see an extra year, given he didn't have much service and stuff last year. We didn't really play to his strengths. But you know, I trust Warnock, and the business we've done so far has been brilliant. So if we could cast away, we are cast away. If we could offload Akpom and bring in, like I say, a more Warnock striker, if you like, then I've got no issues with that at all. Next one though is, personally, I believe this is one of the most important deals this summer, and that is Borough agreed a deal with Norwich head of recruitment Kieran Scott to become our sporting director. Now, if you don't know what a sporting director is, or actually first, a little bit of background on Kieran Scott. He's the one that brought in Tim Krul on a free for Norwich. Timo Pukki on a free, I think it was. And Buendia for something ridiculous like £1 million, I want to say. It was a very small fee, and, you know, Krul has been insane. Pukki, everyone knows Pukki, 2 key players, and Buendia is sold to Aston Villa for like 35 million or something ridiculous like that. So you can kind of see the types of players that they're bringing in, just, you know, and Norwich as a club, really, I've always disliked them since they beat us in the playoff final. Like, how could you not? But when you look at them as a club, you can appreciate it's a well-run club. And I remember listening to Ben Gibson on TalkSport talking about how, you know, they might not be able to buy these players for like hundreds of millions of pounds, but they want to be the best in the nutrition. They want to have the best facilities. You want to give yourselves, your team, the best possible chances of, you know, going out there and performing without having to spend all this money. And that's essentially what, like I say, what a sporting director is. Kieran will come in. Unfortunately, he's not coming in until after the transfer window, but it gives him plenty of time to assess everything and then plan as well for January. But he'll kind of look over the academy facilities, look at the nutrition. Again, why has this happened again? Why is there an ice cream van? It's literally about to rain.
That, you know, and they ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Thank you. But yeah, he'll assess everything and go, right, Steve Gibson, this is where we need to improve. We need to bring, you know, these academy people in, or we need to improve these facilities, that kind of thing. Hopefully, he will blowtorch the seats, inside the stadium, because they're looking dirty, very dirty. But yeah, really, really, really good signing, and I'm pleased with that from the club. That's a good signing moving forwards. Next one is that one of the strikers that I was talking about, Aaron Bupenza from Hatayspor. No idea if I've said that correct, but he's been to play, I think he's 24, I want to guess that. I'm pretty sure it was 24. I really should have these facts with me. I have them in my head, and I don't know why I don't write them down. But I'm sure he's 24. He scored 22 goals last season in the Turkish First Division. And oh my word, this guy's had loads of interest. But guess what? We were the first ones to put a bid in for him. And then what happens is they go, oh, the club's accepted the bid. Bang, Premier League teams, West Ham United. They have bid £8 million. Supposedly, we bid £8.5 million, or might be euros, for this striker. The club accepted that, and then out of nowhere, West Ham put in an £8 million pound/euro bid. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, we've got the higher offer, so, you know, I personally think this deal, you know, I've seen a lot of fans on Twitter just saying, look, he's going to West Ham, and just wrote it off, like, let's move on kind of thing. But I think it genuinely comes down to the player. Whether he's kind of it's going to be money or game time, because, well, it depends the club that comes in. From West Ham, if he was to go there, like you said, I don't know. I really don't know. For me, it was kind of like, is he going to get game time at one of these bigger clubs? If not, then Borough's a perfect move for him. Where we want to take the club going forward, he knows he'll be in that first team straight away with Uche. Obviously, being biased, come to Borough. Why not? Do you know what I mean? But we'll just have to see. Like I said, kind of watch this space. It's exciting though. It's exciting that we're competing with, you know, Premier League teams and a lot of teams from abroad as well in Europe, for these players, and that we're going after them and, you know, showing intent, which is good. But if we can't get transfers over the line, then it's a double-edged sword, really. But yeah, like I said, watch this space. Next bit of news is that Sol Bamba is set to be offered a player/coaching role. Footy Insider actually released something just before recording this video, and that was that it's looking like obviously a 1 year contract. But obviously, you know, Sol's been training with the players, and he featured a couple of times in pre-season. We know what Sol's about. Warnock loves him. He's worked with Warnock before. He's just a solid defender. That Sam Morsy spoke really highly of him actually in that interview with the Hartlepool Mail, saying that he's just a leader, and to have a player like that in the dressing room, people like that are going to be key. And I know Warnock spoke about him potentially having his coaching badges as well. So, for example, you know, if he plays this year at Borough, gets his coaching badges, come in on a coaching role next year, and, you know, help some of the youth, because we've got a record for bringing defenders in and through the ranks. You know, Nathan Wood, Dale Fry, Ben Gibson. You know, if we could have someone like Sol overlooking that, can you imagine how much they'd improve as well? So I think that's a brilliant deal, absolutely brilliant deal, and I'm really happy to have Sol Bamba come in, you know, cover as well for Fry and Hall. So see what happens there. Andrea Gray apparently still, you know, a move still on the cards. That was a report from The Athletic as well. So we'll have to see what happens, because there's been a lot of contrast, because Warnock, I remember saying, he was given a list by our recruitment and told, you know, he's loads of Watford players that are available. Do you want any? Now, I've heard that it'll be a loan. It's more so Watford can kind of get some wages off the books, because he's apparently on like 70, 80 grand a week. And I'm looking at that deal going, there's no way we'd be able to afford 70, 80 grand a week. Like, being realistic, I would absolutely love a player like Andrea Gray. I genuinely think he would do the business for us. Having someone like Uche and then Andrea Gray feeding off him, and you got the likes of Watmore around him, to have, that'd be perfect. But realistically, money-wise, I don't think we'll be able to afford something like that. But like I said, it's just another one. Watch this space, unfortunately. And it's the same with the next one. Borough and Blackburn are apparently battling it out for Aberdeen winger Ryan Hedges. Now, I don't know a lot about this guy, to be fair, but I know that a lot of people in Scotland, like, well, Aberdeen especially, rate him really highly, and he's an important player to them. He's got a lot of pace, he's very direct, a hell of a shot on him as well. So he's Warnock spoke about potential winger. So, like you say, we'll just have to watch this space. But that's everything today, guys. So if you have enjoyed the video and would like to, you know, see more of these, please, if you're watching on YouTube, like the video and subscribe. Turn on that bell as well, just so you don't miss our next one, because we've got loads of content coming, loads. So yeah, stay tuned. The season's back on Sunday, so Match Reactions will be back. Me and Ben talking about stuff. So yeah, and if you are listening on the podcast, please leave a review, whichever platform you're listening on, because it really does help us, you know, gauge an understanding on what we could do differently with the video / podcast. And yeah, just your thoughts on it. So yeah, it takes like 2 seconds. So thank you very much, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.